Major banks to plead guilty to charges of market manipulation. Bitcoin is looking pretty good right about now. Hey Bitcoin, is that a new cologne? Plus, mass civil unrest takes place across the world. Let's find out who wore it best. We introduce our new segment, The Breakdown, with our correspondent Chris Chaparyan. Also be sure to stick around for when we play Human or Alien later in the show. This is Starseed Activate. Hi, my name is Gareth and welcome to Starseed Activate. Well, things have definitely been happening down on the surface lately. If you haven't heard, there was a major earthquake in Nepal. Relief efforts are still underway. Also, Moldova had an eighth of its GDP stolen. And we ain't talking about that granddaddy perp. But let's take a look at some news involving the banks. The parent companies of as many as 5 major banks are expected to plead guilty to charges of manipulating foreign exchange rates. Sounds like banks will finally be held accountable. So who's going to jail first?
No one's going to jail.
What? Why the f not?
Because of regulatory exemptions.
What the f are regulatory exemptions? Okay, you are not going to believe this. So it turns out regulatory exemptions are when bankers receive a get-out-of-jail-free card from governments. Some governments say that punishing certain financial institutions would do damage to the economy. So what we have here is a situation where the governments are so dependent on banks that they are afraid to punish them with anything more than a fine. I guess this is why everyone likes to be the banker when you play Monopoly. The banks are expected to pay fines of $1 billion or more, but hey, at this point, what's $1 billion? Let's now turn things over to Chris Chaparyan for a new segment called The Breakdown.
Hey, my name is Chris, and welcome to The Breakdown. Scientists recently linked the use of neonicotinoid pesticides to the rapid decline of pollinator bees. Bees are addicted to this stuff and are quickly developing a preference to it over natural food sources. This also impacts the bees' abilities to forage, learn, and remember navigation routes. Now, over 1/3 of our food supply relies upon these pollinators. They're not going to get the job done looking like this. In other news, the restaurant Chipotle made good on its promise to remove GMO ingredients from its menu. Chipotle, you go girl! However, many of the larger news outlets criticize the move on the grounds that GMO foods are not harmful. Well, that's debatable. Recently, Nicaragua experienced one of its most intense dust storms. The storm kicked up pesticide and fungicide-contaminated soil into the streets, waterways, and the lungs of humans. The people of Leon filed a lawsuit against several government agencies, accusing them of failing to fulfill their duties to protect citizens. Big business farming has boomed over the past few decades in this area. And well, the people are not having it. These stories raise a few questions, like, should we get a say in how our food is grown and produced? Do policymakers have our highest good in mind? And are GMO foods really worth risking our health and the health of our environment? That's The Breakdown. Gareth?
Chris. Moving on to our main focus tonight, global civil unrest. And also ask the question, why do police today have shit like this? If you don't already know what's going on, let's do a quick montage to bring you up to speed. How many of you saw that guy's butt at the end? How many just rewound this video to see that guy's butt at the end? Why is this happening? Discrimination? Injustice? Environmental concerns? Survival? The constant theme that many of these fights have in common is money, or more accurately, wealth. I guess in a way you could say things these days are kinda looking a little like ancient Rome, but with more iPhones and shit. The wealth gap is more obvious than ever and is noticeable worldwide. From many perspectives, this resembles a war on the poor, not a new idea. If you recall, Marie Antoinette gave everyone a good figurative reminder of what cake tastes like. And lately, the people with the most access to actual cake have been putting a pretty strong barrier between them and the masses. I gotta be honest, this is not the officer-friendly I remember from the DARE program.
Put your hands in the air.
I'm not saying we don't need police, not even close. But these don't look like police, they look like soldiers. There was a time when the people elected those best suited for keeping everyone safe and protected. Somewhere along the way that was lost and perverted into some sort of private hiring process. Police departments also became a new market to sell military equipment to. They are given incentives for using these new toys and have them taken away if they don't. Any dissenters are swiftly dealt with. You don't think so? Watch what happened to Joseph Kent on live national television for being out past curfew in Baltimore.
After they impose a curfew. So what it appears to me that Baltimore is trying to do is do something a little different here, not be as confrontational, but of course they know they got to get the mission done.
He wasn't almost hit by that armored vehicle. They drove the vehicle up, and when it got close enough to create a wedge, they ran out and grabbed him, pinned him against that, and then arrested him.
Even if it was past curfew, it was a pretty alarming method of arrest to use considering recent events. The late Freddie Gray went through something similar there, rallying everyone in the first place. What do police say about occurrences such as this? Usually it's something along the lines of, they are just doing their job. At this point, most people have become numb to this combination of words. This excuse has been all but ruined for any good police officers out there who actually are trying to do their job. Meanwhile, trust in police is at an all-time low. It's easy to see why. Check out these Seattle officers in action as they just do their job. Keep your eyes on this group of protesters walking with their arms linked on the lower right-hand side. And... oh boy! But it isn't all violent protest. The events in Baltimore have led to peace talks between the local Bloods and Crips. Red and blue haven't gotten along this good since purple.
That's what's up.
To those who haven't been living through this nightmare for decades already, it might seem like it crept up out of nowhere. But some of the people out there marching will tell you that the only thing new in all this is 1080p high-definition movie cameras in everyone's pockets. The current system of police power is starting to look really outdated. But you know what isn't? Those outfits they wear. Can we get a look at those? Wow. They look more like the fucking Mighty Morphin Power Rangers than police officers. And these Power Rangers have been whooping so much ass, the only thing I can think left to do is give them an afternoon time slot. Let's call it Too Much Power Rangers. No, really, let's.
Alpha, the people are pissed. Recruit a team of officers with attitude.
Too much Power Rangers. Too much Power Rangers. Too much Power Rangers. Too much goddamn Power Rangers.
Okay, so maybe my idea isn't all that great. But great ideas are needed now more than ever on how to improve living conditions for everyone here at home on Earth. Actual justice, actual peace, and actual prosperity. Because this kind of stuff isn't going to go away until we actually start taking care of everyone. I know it's a dead subject, but humans worldwide are experiencing this at every possible level of intensity on the spectrum. It may seem tough to talk about, and it may seem like a tough mess to clean up, but we must. for our own sake as a species and for the sake of our legacy. Okay, for everyone that stuck with us through that, let's lighten things back up with at least one person's favorite game. I'm looking at you, Anton. A game we call Human or Alien. So if you don't already know how this works, here's how it goes. We are all going to see a video and we have to guess if it's an extraterrestrial attempting to blend in with life on Earth or a human being having a unique experience. Let's see the clip. Okay, everything seems pretty normal so far. Looks like we got a couple humans waiting for a ride to start. He looks pretty confident. She looks concerned. Either way, I think I'm gonna need a minute to see this play out before a final answer is given. Well, I would say human, but in all honesty, I don't think I have ever seen a human do most of the things that that one did. We would like to thank everyone out there again for watching. The kind messages you guys have been sending in have all been really great. If you haven't already, check out starseedactivate.com for links to all of our various media outlets. That's it for now. We'll see you next time, even though time is fake.